Google have just released Firebase Studio, which is like a competitor to Bolt and Loveable. It's a full stack AI workspace for building apps. I'll show you some stuff that I've created and I'll show you how to get access to this today. It is completely free, all right? So you don't need to pay for this. It can leverage Gemini 2.5 Flash as well, and you can see how it works. If you ever use Project IDX from Google previously, this has been rebranded now to Firebase Studio, and you can see you can basically no code it. So you can just go in, you prototype an app, you can build mobile apps or whatever. You can use all different types of apps as well, and it's completely free to access. So really powerful stuff, and I'm going to show you how to access this today. Now, this has just been released a few hours ago, so if you actually go to try Firebase Studio, you're going to find out, oh, it's actually working now. Wow. Okay, before it actually said too busy to work. I was going to show you a workaround, but that's okay. So you can see a bunch of like different sample prompts we can create right here. Let's say we want to create a expense calculator. Well, we can prototype the AI app with AI right here, and it's completely free inside Firebase Studio. Now, if you want to get access to this, just go to studio.firebase.google.com. Boom shakalaka. All you need is a free Gmail account, and then you can type in your prompt over here and no code that bad boy, right? Prototype it out like you can see, and then it's going to start working its magic. So let's wait for that to load. I couldn't get into it before, so I had to create something new on a separate sort of workflow. As you can see right here, we created this test SEO tool where you can pop in your tool, add the word count, it gives you the keyword density, etc., for the keyword that you want to rank for, and you can create this completely free for no code with Gemini. But this seems to be working even better. So you can see here, for example, it said, okay, here's a plan for how we'll prototype this app. Take a cheeky look below and customize as needed, or if you're ready, select prototype this app. The app blueprint is budget wise. Here's the features, right? I haven't typed any of this in, by the way. It just came up with this and did its magic, as you can see right here. And then we've got a nice little color. So we can actually choose between the different colors that we want. We've got the layout, the iconography, and the animation, all right? So like subtle transitions and animations to provide visual feedback to the user. We'll click prototype this app, and it's just going to go off and do its magic. Now, the beautiful thing about this is, number one, you can create apps. Number two, it's very easy to use. Number three is completely free. And number four, you can actually publish these and host them on a subdomain, all right? So once you're ready to go with these, for example, like that tool that I created earlier, then we can go onto here. We can open this up in a pop-up. If we click on open, that is deployed on a nice little subdomain right there as well. So, you know, it's really easy to create these apps, super powerful. I mean, it's ridiculous that you can just create an app in one single prompt, like you can see right here, and then we're off to the races, all right? Now, you may see some issues because this is coding and that sort of thing. So you can like just ask it inside here to fix stuff. And also, if it seems that you need a Gemini key, all you can do, let's have a look. So it might auto-generate right there, but if you can't get one, or if you need to go and grab one, you can go to aistudio.google.com over here, click get API key, and they've also done a nice little revamp of AI Studio as well. It used to be a lot clunkier than this. Go to get API key, and you can create a free one, like you can see right here, and then plug that in as well. So if it ever does ask you for an API key or that sort of thing, it's quite easy to just generate one directly over inside AI Studio. But yeah, that's how you can build stuff, all right? And there we go. Look at that. Living the dream, my friend. So pretty simple and easy. If you've got any issues, like you can see right here, so you can see there's a little console error. We can click on fix error, and it should just automatically troubleshoot that bad boy for us. We'll wait for that to load. And hopefully that looks like it's fixed right there, okay? And then again, you can go onto a subdomain if you want to deploy it. You can click on publish over here. So let's click on publish. And then you can go off and set up the environment like you can see, all right? Pretty simple. Let's try and create some more now. Now, if you want to get all my best prompts, etc., you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom community right here. We're constantly posting like new examples. There's actually a bunch of Manus invitation codes as well that someone has posted inside the group. Thanks to the legendary Jovan. Thank you, sir, for posting those. And you can see there's all sorts of stuff being posted here. Like, it's a very, very active community. So if you want to join 691 people focused on making more money and saving time with AI, feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom. And if we go to the SAP section over here, I've actually added a new section for Firebase Studio with 100 different prompts that you can use for creating whatever you want, all right, with apps. So if you wanted to come up with some ideas, there's a bunch of ideas inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Let's come up with a new idea. Let's say, for example, we want to create a SEO app for learning SEO link building, like Anki, but for SEO, right? Anki is like a flashcard app. So we'll just put Anki flashcards, but for SEO. So we'll plug that in. You can also attach images here. So if you have an idea of what you want to insert there, you can insert it over here. But we're going to go with prototype with AI just for keeping it simple and easy. Like you can see, you could also ask ChatGPT to modify the prompt for you to improve it. And we will keep going through. So you can see it comes up with the ideas. If you want to change something, then you can say, okay, make the app name more interesting, plus use my brand colors. And we'll set our brand colors over here. And then it will just come up with a new idea, right? And it's using the colors that we have as well, right? Like you can see. So it's using our brand colors, like you can see. And it's also changed the app name based on our request. And then once we're ready to go, we can click on prototype this app. That's going to start working its magic. You don't need to be able to code at all to be able to use this. And it's just, you know, it's no coding. So whilst I'm talking to you, it's just building that app casually as you do. And, you know, bear in mind, back in the day, like you pay thousands of dollars for a SaaS developer and have to wait around for weeks and weeks for this to come back to you. Now you can just create this coded app. You're ready to go. It'll go off, do its magic, and you can just go off, make a cup of tea, and then come back when you're ready, right? I think you could probably also like create websites as well using Firebase. But for now, it seems to be like fully focused on creating the apps. Now, also what you can do is you can switch to code over here. And if there's anything you want to change, you can just describe the changes you want to make over here. I also think it'd be interesting to try and make games with this, but we've got the flashcard app right here. So what is a backlink? And also you can see there seems to be a couple of issues each time you code out. So just bear in mind there. And also, it seems like we need an API key from Gemini. So I'm going to grab an API key. We'll delete this one in a second, but we'll grab it for now. Plug it in here. Hit continue. Fix the errors. And then we can start building out these apps. All right, so just to recap, let's see if that's working. Got another issue there. Now, also the cool thing here is like all your workspaces are safe. So if we go back to studio.firebase.google.com, you can see all the previous workspaces that we've got. So for example, the Link Leap SEO flashcard app is ready to go right there. Budget-wise, is ready to go as well. We can share it, delete it, rename it, or reset it as well. So for example, if I wanted to share this tool with people on my team, I can just type in their email address or copy the link and share that with them as well. So if we copy that link, we can share that with people. And then we've got this over here. Let's just test this works. So we'll copy that link. We can also generate a QR code that people can scan to access it. And let's open this up. Make sure it's working. Here we go. And there we go, right? Now, if we wanted to change this, so it's like, okay, just make it so that I can review the flashcards and learn from them. Also, nothing happens when I click to reveal answer. Make the UI simpler and easier to use. That's interesting as well. It's got like a drawing feature here. Let's look at that. You can actually draw. If we click cancel, we can go back. And we'll just ask it to improve the UI. Doesn't seem to be any limits on this as well. I'm sure you do hit a limit eventually, but it's pretty crazy that you can just keep building and building without hitting any limits, and also build like multiple apps at the same time as well. But yeah, I bet, you know, if you spent the morning just coding out here, you could create something really, really good. It's quite simple and easy. Also, the other thing here is on the chat, you can actually restore the previous version. So if you want to go back to this one, for example, just click restore. And these are like little checkpoints where you can go back to previous versions of your app. And also look at this. You got a new flashcard section. You got your Anki decks over here. Your AI learning tool, and then there's some settings here, so you can change like the profile, the settings, etc. And then if you see any issues like this, just click on pop up, click on fix error, and boom, off to the races. All right. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to 100 prompts on how to use Firebase, then feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. If you just go inside this community, link in the comments description. This is focused on making more money and saving time with AI. If you just type in Firebase in the chat over here, you'll see all these different sections, including the Firebase Studio section that has 100 prompts on different apps and tools you can build. Also, like, feel free to post anything that you create and share it inside the community, because we've got an awesome bunch of people here, all interested in like Loveable, Bolt, different app building tools, and you can just share whatever you create inside the community. Also, this comes with weekly Q&A calls, so you can jump on the weekly Q&As, ask any questions you have, get help. If you ever get stuck, you can jump on the Q&A calls, get live help. These get recorded as well, so you can watch them back. And if you need your questions answered in between the Q&As, just post it inside the community here. And this also comes with all my best workflows, tips, templates, tutorials. Like, all of these are separate courses. The amount of stuff in here is absolutely wild, right? Like, just in the AI agents and workflow section, you can see all these different sections on different ways to create AI agents. And we have tons of SOPs down here as well. Right? Thanks so much for watching. And additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we went from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to get that on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a custom tailored game plan to get you more leads, traffic, and sales to your website for free. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one on the call, and you'll learn the best link building strategy for your website based on what's working for our happy clients, like you can see right here. So if you want to get more leads, traffic, sales, if you want to get free customers from Google, if you want to outrank your competitors, feel free to book in a free SEO strategy session. Link in the comments and the description. How is Bangkok after the earthquake? It's okay, I think. I think everyone's a little bit tense, a little bit worried, but it seems to be all good. Steven says, do you think that in 6 months, all of the code will be generated by AI? I think we're getting that way. You know, if you look at the internet, it's like even YouTube videos are sometimes better with AI than with a human. So that's the way the whole world is going. Not just code, but, you know, content, blogs, articles, videos, emails, customer service, like everything is going towards AI, right? So the sooner you learn this stuff, the better, I would say. Simply says, I'm working with Firebase, making a browser app like Firefox. That's pretty crazy, to be fair. And then AI Tech Lab says, I noticed with GenSpark, it cannot handle codes in chunk well, especially if it goes over 100 characters. I'm not sure about that. I think like the more context you give AI, the more it's going to get confused. And Julian, great name, Julian Burney, says, hey, what's good, man? All good in the hood, my friend. All good in the hood. All right, so let's come on to the next topic. So Google have just released Firebase Studio, so you can now build, edit, and deploy apps from your browser. And this is completely free. Now, today we're going to be comparing it versus Bolt.new and Loveable to see which one performs the best. All right. Here's a couple of examples of what I built. So I actually built a flashcard app for SEO using Firebase Studio. Just went in, said create an SEO app for learning link building, and it did its magic. Here's another one. So I actually created this SEO tool inside Firebase using Gemini. Again, it was completely free to build, and you can deploy it to the web like you can see right here. So we can actually create a example domain, and we're off to the races. And then we also have Bolt.new, which is a paid tool, and Loveable, which is typically a paid tool. All right, so what we're going to do is compare them now side by side. And we'll take a very simple example right here. So I'm going to create a recipe creator. So this is going to be a simple recipe maker that generates recipes based on the ingredients I have in my fridge. Simple UI, green color scheme. And we're going to do the same inside Bolt.new and Loveable and see which one creates the best outputs, which one has the least bugs, etc. So we'll generate that inside Bolt.new and also inside Loveable. I think Loveable is going to ask me to sign in. Let's get ourselves logged in here. There we go. Then we'll hit enter. And Bolt.new is already off to the races. It's not messing around here. So you can see it's already creating the app. I do think the UI inside Bolt.new is super nice, to be fair. Loveable is working its magic. Firebase Studio's already come up with a sort of blueprint before it starts creating it. So it's come up with the app name, Fridge Chef, the features, and also the style guidelines. So let's see if this actually works. We're going to click on prototype this app. I do notice that when I've been using Firebase Studio this morning, it comes up with a lot of bugs, but we'll see how that goes in a second. I also believe that you need to plug in a API key for Gemini into this, but we'll see how that goes in a second. So that's working its magic. And once we get the UI for each, we can compare them side by side in a window. So Bolt.new has already come back with the answers. Loveable is really slow, it seems like, but we'll see what we get back. And Fridge Chef is also being coded out here. So it seems like Bolt is winning on speed. Let's test this out now. So we'll see if it actually works. We can just check it out on a new domain here. There we go. And we're going to type in our example and see if this works. So I'll just put that I have Marmite in the fridge and see if this actually works. All right, so we'll plug that in, hit find recipes, and that is doing nothing. All right, so when we click on find recipes, literally the button doesn't work. So the UI is nice. It went off and created it, but the app doesn't actually work, which is kind of what we needed to do. Let's see what we get back from Gemini. So Gemini has created something similar, but we need to plug in an API key from Gemini. So I'm going to click on auto generate and see if that can just create one for me. And Loveable is taking absolutely ages. It's not even created a UI or anything yet, but we'll see what we get back in a sec. If it works, then it's already beating bolt.new. So that's generating something now that is totally broken. All right, we'll click on try to fix. Not the best start. All right, so just to recap here, peeps. So bolt.new generated a really nice UI, but an app that doesn't work when you test it out. Then we've got Loveable, which totally broke for a very simple app and didn't work at all. And then we have Firebase, and we'll test this out. All right, so I'm going to type in Marmite over here. We'll click generate recipe. And look at that, it actually works. Boom shakalaka. All right, so, I mean, peeps, check this out. So, bolt.new, paid tool. You type in Marmite, you click on find recipes, it doesn't do anything. No matter how hard I click that button or how many times. Loveable, it broke on the first attempt, but it has come back to us with an idea right here. So I'm going to put on find recipes, type in Marmite, hit find recipes. Is that going to work? It does nothing. Nothing. Maybe you have to add the database of recipes, but still, like, I was kind of expecting the AI to figure out that we need to generate an API key for this so that it could create recipes on the spot. So bolt.new failed, but created a nice UI. Loveable failed, but created a nice UI. And Firebase Studio worked beautifully. Look at that. It actually asked for the Gemini API key. We added that in, and it created a nice little UI. And we are off to the races, all right? If we go to deploy this on a subdomain, we've got that ready to go. If we want to publish it and share it with people, we can click on publish over here. So let's click on next. We'll go on the billing account over here. We'll set up the environment. Let's see if we can get this deployed. I've got to say, like, it's not as easy as deploying on something like bolt.new. Bolt.new is very, very easy to deploy stuff. You just click on deploy. But if the app doesn't work, what's the point, mate? All right, we'll click on create rollout here. I believe we're going to have that hosted on this subdomain. So you can see here, it says your app is being built and deployed. This may take up to 10 minutes. Feel free to check that later. So you can just bookmark that and come back to it later. So far, if you check out all of these, Firebase Studio was the only one that actually created a working app, which is insane because this is free, this is paid, this is paid. I mean, wow. Now, the other thing as well, we can just open up a new tab here, and then we can start building stuff out. We can also come back to the previous projects, and it's quite easy to share this as well. So you can just click on share over here. And then you've got, if you want to start coding like an app, you can also choose between these different styles, right? So Go, Python Flask, Java, .NET, Android Studio Cloud, Flutter. I know a lot of people like Flutter. Angular, Next.js, Node Express, Gemini API, Jenkit, Astro, pretty much everything you can imagine when it comes to coding right here. It's pretty easy and simple to do. So let's level it up now. What I'm going to say from here is create a SEO content generator, create an AI SEO content generator that creates content using this. And we're going to go into the AI Profit Boardroom. I'm going to grab one of my favorite prompts for creating content. Which we can grab from this SOP. Basically as well, like any apps that you're paying for, you could probably create with Firebase at this point. I think, you know, unless it's super advanced stuff, like it's going to be pretty simple to just code something out. Like whether that's a AI SEO content generator, whether that's, for example, a keyword generator, keyword clustering tool, etc. You can create all of this sort of stuff using Firebase, deploy it yourself, have it custom built the way you want it, have the UI exactly how you want it. You don't need to pay for apps anymore, right? Unless it's something super complex. So we're going to say, okay, create an SEO content generator that creates content using this prompt, this style prompt, but make sure you ask the user for their keyword. Keep the UI clean, simple, and modern. So we're going to use that inside Firebase. It's developing the prototype, like you can see. We'll go back into Bolt and we'll start a new chat. We'll give it another whirl. And we'll do the same inside Loveable as well. We'll leave Fridge Chef deploying in the background, the one and only. And now that's come up with a really cool name, which is SEO Alchemist. I really like that. Content input, AI content generation output, download this HTML, FAQ generator, etc. So we'll click on prototype this app. Again, like if you wanted to make this more complicated, you can, but it's going to take more time to code out. Bolt.new, we'll plug in the same prompt. Bolt.new is definitely faster. I think Loveable is probably the slowest, and Firebase Studio is kind of in the middle there. So it's going off and creating that right now. This is prototyping. Loveable is spinning up the preview. All right, so Firebase has done its magic. We're just going to auto-generate an API key here, which I love as well. I love that feature of like, I don't have to like, I mean, when it works, it says error generating the key. All right, that's not good. I was just about to say that I love the fact that Google generates the API key directly inside the chat, but then it totally failed and didn't work. So ignore that. All right, so we're going to copy an API key for free from aistudio.google.com. We'll plug that into the chat over here. So API key equals. There we go. I'll delete that after. Bolt.new is come up with something. I mean, the UI is nice, right? Like that's a nice, simple UI. Why is this? This is saying, I'm sorry, I cannot generate the API key. All right. I'm just going to put, just generate one yourself then, mate. Can you auto-generate? Well, this is totally annoying. Okay, I'm going to say add this to the EMV then. Which is crazy because on the last one, it actually just did its magic and added it. Okay, so that seems to have worked now. We've got some errors here. Let's click on fix error. Bolt.new has come back to us. Let's put in SEO training Japan. Oh, look at that. It's come back with an output, but I mean, the generated content is pretty poor. Let's have a look. So we'll count the words up, 104 words, and it's pretty much empty inside the content here. So I'm going to say inside bot, okay, allow me to input my Google API key and use Gemini 2.5 to generate responses. Loveable has come back here. Let's see what we get back from Loveable. All right. So plug in the keyword, ignore that, hit generate content. Well, I mean, honestly, out of everything, I would, let's have a look here. I was just about to say Loveable did the best, but actually, if you look at the text itself, it's pretty useless. So you see here, right, it's got the bullet points and it's the same content under each heading. That is no bueno, my friend. So I'm going to now say to both of them, allow me to put my API key. So we'll plug that into Loveable as well. And then we'll go back to SEO Alchemist. All right, so that seems to have worked. Let's check if it actually works. hit generate content, nothing happens. Firebase has totally failed. So Firebase was winning on the first one. It totally failed on the second one. Let's just check this out. Well, let's have a look here. It has created some content. Let's copy that, put it into Markdown. Worried about SEO? Well, that's not even generated for the right keyword, is it? Well, what keyword did I put in? Oh, okay, yeah, I did put in the keyword. Okay, let's put in the keyword here. Okay, SEO training Japan. And that is totally not working. All right, so there's a few errors here. I'm going to put, allow me to input my API key inside the app. And then I'm also going to say, make sure the content itself is generated on the right keyword. So you can see how messy it gets when you start creating something a bit more complex than just a basic to-do list app or something like that. Oh, we just accidentally closed that down. Let's check on bolt.new. So that's giving us this. What's going on here? There we go. We're back in the game. All right, so we're going to grab that API key from each now. We'll plug that into here. We'll put SEO training Japan. See if that actually works. It does have an issue, so I'm just going to fix that first. Bolt.new has come back to us. We'll hit generate. And Loveable has come back to us as well. I'm not particularly impressed with any of them right now. It's not as easy as you may think. Let's see what we get back. All right, so that's hit an error. Attempt the fix. Loveable might be working. We'll come back to that in a sec. See what we got here. There we go. So Loveable creates the first working prototype, like you can see. If we count the words, it's created a sort of 367 word article there, which is not great, but it's the best output we've got so far. We can also easily deploy that, I think. So if we hit on publish, we can also connect to a custom domain. So Loveable has won that round. Bolt.new failed with the error. Let's try again. Oh, it's just Bolt.new has failed us completely. Loveable is winning. Let's see what we get back from Google now. We'll put in the keyword. Terrible. Doesn't work at all. All right. So, but on that round, Bolt.new totally failed. Firebase totally failed. And Loveable smashed it, to be fair. Right? We've even got that deployed on a subdomain, and that should be ready to go. Which is crazy when you think about it, because Firebase is coding with its own API, but it still can't work. So let's see what the issue is here. We'll fix that error and see if it works. We'll do the same as like bolt.new. But from what I've seen so far, it seems like, yeah, I would say that Loveable seems to be the best for coding more complex apps. Bolt.new doesn't seem to work for anything. And Firebase seems to be good for coding like really basic apps, like to-do list or expense calculator or whatever. Let's keep going now. Oh, it's just come up with that error again. So it totally failed, yeah. I mean, from what I can see, like there's no point trying to build complex apps with Firebase. Just simple ones. Bolt.new, let's give this one more try. That's failed again. All right, and Loveable was the only one that could build something a bit more complex and deploy it to a subdomain. So I've given you my verdict. I've shown you the tests. This is based on real-world case studies and just my own experience. But you can see which one did well here and which one let us down and which one is the best so far. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all of my best prompts, tips, workflows, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This community is focused on making more money and saving time with AI. and the prices are going up this month, so make sure you sign up now before you miss out. Also, it comes with all my best automations for email content, social media, AI agents, web automation, scraping, SEO automations, NA10 templates and agents, a crash course to save you hundreds of hours of AI, plus all my best SOPs. And on top of that, we've got an amazing community of people you can ask questions with, and also we do weekly Q&A calls, so you can jump on those live calls and ask us any questions you have, and they get recorded if you want to watch them back. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot, feel free to get out on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a free custom tailored game plan to your business. You'll learn the secrets to link building, answer any questions one-to-one. And this is based on how we've helped hundreds, if not thousands of clients at this point. You can see all the happy testimonials right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Whoop, never tried that. Let us know which insane updates are your favorite. My favorite so far has probably been GenSpark. I think that's the best one I see. Grant says, every day I see an insane update from you. You do indeed. If you want to see like all my best coding tools, all the stuff that I personally use, then we actually have a full rundown inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Wait for the article. Yeah, it didn't work at all. Are you Google? I am not Google, my friend. I think Firebase eventually could be really good, but right now it doesn't seem that good at all. For coding like complex stuff, as you've seen today, it broke over and over again and didn't generate something very good. So thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.